Good afternoon, everyone. Let us start.
Afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, do remember we have been learning Chapter 14, Movements of Ocean Water, and today will be the last lesson, the last part of this chapter. That is, we shall discuss about the major ocean currents. Okay, now let me present my screen. Major ocean currents. Okay, we have already learned that ocean currents are the continuous flow of huge amount of water in a definite direction. Okay, and we also have learned that ocean currents are mainly generated by the prevailing winds and other factors also there, like thermal expansion of water, then density differences. Okay, so now we shall try to correlate between these ocean currents and these planetary winds. Okay, so let us read. Major ocean currents are greatly influenced by the stresses exerted by the prevailing winds and the Coriolis force. So most of the ocean currents of the world are influenced, affected by the stresses exerted by the prevailing winds. Here prevailing winds mainly refer to the planetary winds, permanent winds, which are blowing across the planet. And Coriolis force. Coriolis force, so it causes the change in the direction of the ocean currents. And the oceanic circulation pattern roughly corresponds to the Earth atmospheric circulation. So oceanic circulation pattern roughly corresponds to the Earth atmospheric circulation pattern. Okay, so the air circulation over the oceans in the middle latitude is mainly anticyclonic. That is more pronounced in the southern hemisphere than the northern hemisphere. Anticyclonic means it's actually the circulation pattern is clockwise in the northern hemisphere and the anti-clockwise in the southern hemisphere. Okay, and now let us recollect our memory. See, this is the global pressure and wind system, that is planetary wind system. Okay, see here we have equator, and along the equator we have low pressure, and we call it equatorial low pressure belt. And roughly along this 30 degree north and 30 degree south. Okay, in this diagram it is between 30 degree north to 35 degree north, and 30 degree south and 35 degree south. Okay, along these latitudes we have high pressure cells known as subtropical. See here, subtropical high pressure cells. And along the 60 degree north and south we have low pressure belts known as subpolar low. And these in the Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle, that is within the 66 half degree north and the south, we have high pressure cells. So these are the major pressure belts, and accordingly we find this planetary wind system. See, from the subtropical high pressure areas, winds are blowing towards the equatorial low, and these winds are known as trade winds. So these winds are known as trade winds, and we have two types of track. This is the northeast trade wind, and in the southern hemisphere it is known as southeast trade wind. Likewise, from the subtropical high pressure belt towards the subpolar low, okay, so a planetary wind is generated, and that is known as a westerlies. And likewise in the southern hemisphere also, from the subtropical high pressure cells, okay, planetary winds are blowing towards the subpolar low, and this is also known as westerlies. Okay, and because of these winds, major ocean currents on the earth are generated, and because of this, okay, here this air circulation over the ocean in the middle latitude is mainly anticyclonic. Just let us see another diagram, okay. Just see here, this is the case of this northern hemisphere here, northern Pacific Ocean, and here the circulation pattern is anticyclonic, that is clockwise, okay, in northern hemisphere, and here it is anti-clockwise here, like this. And likewise in the Atlantic Ocean also, see here, it is anticyclonic, okay, the ocean currents are anticyclonic in the North Atlantic Ocean, and here also anticyclonic. In the northern hemisphere it is clockwise, and in the southern hemisphere it is anti-clockwise. And okay, these are generated accordingly the circulation, okay, created by the planetary winds. See, the oceanic circulation pattern also corresponds with the same, say as we mentioned earlier, okay, like the planetary wind system, the oceanic circulation pattern also corresponds the same. At higher latitudes, see, where the wind flow is mostly cyclonic, the ocean circulation also follows the pattern. Where there is cyclonic pattern in the wind system, the oceanic circulation will also follow the cyclonic pattern, okay. And in the regions of pronounced monsoonal flow, that is in the Indian Ocean, okay, and this China Sea, okay, South China Sea, the monsoon winds influence the current movements, and due to Coriolis force, the warm currents from low latitude tend to move towards the right in the northern hemisphere and to the left in the southern hemisphere. About the Coriolis force also we have learned earlier. Just let me tell you again. See here, actually see here, from the subtropical high pressure belt, the wind must be, okay, blowing due south like this. Actually it must be blowing due south, but it is deflected, okay, see here, see the arrow, it is turned to the right. This is due to Coriolis force. And likewise from the these subtropical high pressure cells in the southern hemisphere also, it must be blowing due north like this, but due to Coriolis force it is turned to the left. This is due to Coriolis force. And like the planetary wind, okay, the ocean currents are also deflected due to the Coriolis force. Now let us see one example, okay, one example. See, we have see, this is the diagram, okay. This is the map taken out from your book, and before that we also may see one more diagram here, okay. See here, And we know that, see, when we correlate the planetary wind with these ocean currents, see here, let us say somewhere here we have this 30-degree north, and from the 30-degree north these trade winds are blowing towards the equator. See, this is the equator. Okay, here we have low pressure and here we have this high pressure. Okay, so from the 30-degree north, trade winds are blowing, and these trade winds are known as northeast trades. And likewise in the southern hemisphere also, okay, here in the southern hemisphere also we have 30 degrees south, and here we have high pressure. Okay, here we have high pressure here, and from this area this southeast trade wind is blowing towards the equator. And because of the these trade winds, okay, one ocean current is generated here just north of the equator, and this is known as north equatorial current. And likewise in the southern hemisphere also one ocean current is generated here, and this is known as south equatorial currents. Just see here, okay, just let us see this map given in the book. See here, this is the case of the this South Atlantic Ocean, okay, and this is the North Atlantic Ocean, and you know that trade winds are blowing here from the 30 degree. Okay, see here, this is 30 degree north, and trade winds are blowing from here. Okay, and because of these trade winds, this north equator current is, see here, north equatorial current is flowing here. And likewise in the southern hemisphere also the south equatorial current is flowing here. And because of the Coriolis force, okay, because of the Coriolis force, the ocean current is turning to the left here in this way, because of this Brazilian peninsula, okay, Cape Sao Paulo, and because of the deflection caused by the Coriolis force, this equatorial current is deflected to the left, and again it is flowing along the coast of South America. And when it reaches this 60, this one 60, okay, just see this diagram, okay, around 60 degree, between this 30 to 60 degree here, okay, when the ocean currents, okay, when the ocean currents reach here around this 35 to 60, again it is dragged by the westerlies. Okay, it is again turned to the left. Actually it must be flowing due south like this, but again it is turned to the left because of the Coriolis force, as well as, okay, at this time due to the influence of the westerlies, the ocean current is moving, okay, towards the east, and again it is turned to the left due to the Coriolis effect, and again it is flowing west coast of South Africa. So in this way we have got an anticyclonic circulation in the South Atlantic Ocean. And likewise here also, as I told you, due to this northeast trade wind, north equatorial current is generated, and it is turned to the right because of the Coriolis force, as well as the coastal areas, okay, as well as the configuration of the coastal areas, and it is again turning, okay, to the right due to Coriolis force. And when it reaches the latitudes between 35 and 60, it is under the influence of the westerlies. Okay, just see that the diagram, it is under the influence of the these westerlies, and because of these westerlies, the ocean current is dragged towards the east. Okay, and here due to the Coriolis force, one branch is bifurcated here. It is turning to the right. This is due to Coriolis force, and again it is striking, okay, west coast of North Africa, okay, and just meeting its origin. So in this way, in the North Atlantic Ocean also we have got an anticyclonic circulation. Okay, and remember, say from the equator, due to the northeast trade wind, north equator currents are generated. It is turned to the right, and when it is under the influence of the westerlies, it is dragging, okay, it is drifting towards the east, and here the name of the ocean current is renamed as Gulf Stream. Okay, again it is dragging, it is drifting more towards the north under the influence of the westerlies, and here the name is known as, the name of the ocean current is known as North Atlantic Drift, and it will move towards the polar area. So in this way, these planetary winds, okay, affect the ocean currents, that as well as the planetary winds as well as the Coriolis force generate and affect these major ocean currents of the world. Okay, and here in the Indian Ocean, here it is mainly caused by the monsoon winds, and when there is absence of monsoon in the winter season, you will find this equatorial current. But when there is monsoon in summer, then you may find okay, no equator currents here. And see, one more thing you have to know is that when there is continuous flow of water from east towards the west, and here in the northern hemisphere also there is continuous flow of water from the this east towards the west, and because of this continuous flow of water, here the water, ocean water, is piling up here. Just see here, when there is see, this is the bottom of the ocean and this is the sea level. When there is continuous flow of water from the east towards the west, then there is piling up of water. That means because of piling up of water, okay, here the level of water will be little higher than the, okay, than the east, and that is why the water along the equator is flowing back towards the east, and this is known as counter equatorial current. Okay, see here, as you see here, this is what we call counter equatorial current, and this is counter equatorial current. Okay, any question from your side? So this is the case of influence made by the westerlies. Okay, so these arrows shows westerlies, and because of these westerlies, ocean currents are dragging towards the north, and because of the Coriolis effect, one branch is bifurcated, okay, turning towards the south. Likewise here also, these arrows shows westerlies, and westerlies, okay, are dragging these ocean currents towards the east, but due to the Coriolis force, it is turning to the left and it is flowing, okay, west coast of Africa as a cold current, this Benguela current. Are you clear? Any question from your side regarding this correlation between planetary winds and ocean currents? Okay, if you want to compare, then say we need a chart of planetary winds, okay, and you may compare with the map given in your book. Okay, if you don't have questions, then let us proceed. Here the oceanic circulation transport heat from one latitude belt to another in a manner similar to heat transported by general circulation of the atmosphere. That means these planetary winds also transport heat from one place to another place. Okay, from the hot areas to the cold areas, heat is transported. Likewise, ocean currents also transport heat from one place to another place. Say, for example, from the equatorial areas, warm ocean currents are flowing towards the polar areas. So in this way, heat is transported from equator towards the poles. And likewise, on the floor of the ocean, okay, just below 400 meters from the surface, from the sea level, we find this transportation of cold water from the polar areas towards the equator. About it we have discussed earlier. See here, cold waters of Arctic and the Antarctic circles move towards the warmer in tropical and equator regions, while warm waters of lower latitude move polwards. Okay, just here let me tell you. Okay, just see here, here water flowing here, ocean currents flowing here are warm currents. Just see the index. Okay, solid arrow shows warm current, and these broken arrows, broken line shows cold current, and so all these are cold currents, and these are these warm currents. So warm ocean currents transporting heat towards the pole, and from the polar areas, okay, cold water is transporting towards the equator. At the same time, here also, let us say here this side we have this equator, and here this side we have these polar areas, and here along the surface, okay, warm ocean currents are transporting heat towards the poles, and whereas here from the polar areas, cold water is moving towards the equator. Okay, just at the bottom of the sea. And so this is about the circulation of the major ocean currents. Okay, now let us read about effects of ocean currents. What are the effects of ocean currents to the human beings? Thangzalam, please turn off your mic. Let us read the effects or the significance of ocean currents. Ocean currents have a number of direct and indirect influences on human activities. Okay, ocean currents have a number of direct and indirect influences on human activities. See, west coast of continents in the tropical and the subtropical latitudes, except close to equator, are bordered by cold waters. Okay, see, west coast of continents in tropical and subtropical latitude are bordered by cold water. See here, west coast of continents. See here, cold water is here, and here also. Okay, in the tropical and the subtropical area, see here, you will find cold waters along the west coast, and here also we find cold ocean currents west of South America, and here west of North America also we find cold waters. Okay, then their average temperature are relatively low with a narrow diurnal and annual ranges. So because of these cold ocean currents here, okay, and here the temperature the temperature along the coast is lower, relatively lower, and here we find this very narrow range of temperature also. That means we find little difference between the this diurnal, means the temperature difference between the daytime and the nighttime. We find little difference between the temperature between the daytime and nighttime, or we find little difference between the temperatures of summer season and winter season. And there is fog, but generally the areas are arid. Because of this, okay, because of this cold currents, we find fog along the west coast of the continents. But these areas, generally we find these desertic conditions, because see, when ocean currents, cold ocean currents are these flowing along the coasts, okay, then there will be stability of the atmosphere. Okay, see, because of the cold ocean water, the air in the atmosphere will be cooled down, and see, because of that there will be stability of the air. That means air will not be able to rise upward to make rainfall. See here this is the coastal area, and when cold water is flowing here nearby this area, then because of the conduction process, the air nearby it will be cooled down, and hence there would not be rainfall here, because the air remain to be stable. It may be descending downward, or it is stable, and that is why cloud cannot be formed and no rainfall. You know that there is rainfall only when the air moves upwards. When the air moves upwards, then there will be this adiabatic cooling. There will be expansion of the parcel of air, and there will be adiabatic cooling. Cloud will be formed, and there will be rainfall. But since we have cold currents here, okay, there is stability in the atmosphere, cloud cannot be formed, and there is no rainfall, and that is why you will find deserts here in this area. Whenever cold currents hit the coastal area, in that region will become a desert. And here also, this is Sahara desert, and here this is Kalahari. Likewise, we have Atacama desert here. Okay, then west coast of the continents in the middle and higher latitude are bordered by warm waters, and the west coast a distinct marine climate, and they are characterized by cool summers, okay, and relatively mild winters with a narrow annual range of temperature. So west coast of continents in the middle and the higher latitudes. See here, for example, see here, okay, see in this area, and here in this area also, west coast, okay, here also see this. Let me repeat, okay. West coast of continents in the middle and higher latitude are bordered by warm waters with a quite distinct marine climate. Just computer is hanging. Just see here. West coast, see here. Here we have warm, ocean currents here, and this is the west coast of North America. Just an example, okay. And likewise here also. Here also we find these warm currents, and and because of this we find a distinct this marine type of climate, and because of this the temperature is little higher than the normal, and there will be a rainfall. Okay, see here, they are characterized by cool summers and relatively mild winters. That means the temperature of the winter is mild, not very cold. Okay, because of the warm ocean currents with a narrow annual range of temperature. That means we don't find much difference between the summer temperature and the winter temperature. And warm currents flow parallel to the east coast of the continents in the tropical and the subtropical latitudes, and this results in warm and rainy climates. Remember, whenever warm ocean currents hit a coastal area, the temperature will become higher, the temperature will be increased. Okay, atmospheric temperature will be increased, and there will be rainfall. That means you will get rainy climate. And whenever cold ocean currents hit a coastal area, then temperature will be lowered and no rainfall, and the region may become a desert. Okay, and one more thing you have to know, the mixing of warm and cold currents help to replenish oxygen and favor the growth of planktons. When cold currents and warm currents mix together, okay, it helps to replenish oxygen, and that also favors the growth of plankton, the primary food for fish. Okay, plankton is the food for the fish, and that is why the best fishing ground of the world exists mainly in the places where this warm ocean current mix with the cold ocean current. Just we have some photographs here. Okay, so this is a photograph showing plankton. Okay, this the food for the fish, and we have some more photograph. This is another photograph showing planktons, and here we have this another one. Okay, and we have one more. This is another photograph showing planktons. And about this best fishing ground, just one example. See here. Okay, see here, from the polar areas, cold Labrador current is flowing towards the south, and this cold Labrador current is mixing with the Gulf Stream here. Here, this current is the warm Gulf Stream, and a warm Gulf Stream and the cold Labrador current is mixing here, and because of this mixing of warm current and cold currents, we find a lot of plankton, and hence fishing is highly developed, okay, off the coast of this Newfoundland. Okay, boys and girls, are you clear? Do you have questions regarding the effects of or the significance of ocean currents, or about the relation between the planetary winds and ocean currents? Okay, then for today, up to here. Thank you very much for joining my class, and don't forget to say in your names